It is just me at the moment.
Okay, so I might just start and then
Ish.
hopefully we can figure it out in the
Yeah.
intro.
Yeah, I'll keep working on it.
Good evening, everybody. I hope you are all doing well. I'm officially calling this June 3rd ASUO Senate meeting to order, and we are going to start with introductions, starting with Senate Seat One.
Tomorrow's because I'm able to celebration is fashion centric. It's going to be pretty fluid and everything is actually good. Moving on, is there anybody in the gallery who would like to wish to speak? Come on up. As a reminder for senators, public forum is a time where people can come and express their concerns, interests, etc. They get up to 10 minutes of speaking time, and senators are not allowed to respond. Please go ahead whenever you're ready.
Hello, y'all. My name is Tyler Chisholm. I'm a senior in neuroscience with minors in sociology and 3 p.m. I've worked a few jobs here on campus, including being an ASUO senator last year, and have helped lead or been part of organizations in the board MCC in my time here. But most recently, I've been a co-director of CARE. I need to be up here today, but I've simply had enough, and I need to tell you why Alex Huber is extraordinarily harmful to the Senate, any clubs, and the well-being of the entire student body by being a senator. Yesterday was my final straw. I found out that Alex, who's been a finance director of CARE on his own will and with zero consultation to the rest of CARE, took me and Mehmet O'Neill here, another co-director, off the stipend list for the months of May and June via an email to SOPS that I have a screenshot of. Something vital to understand to this is when Alex takes someone off the stipend sheet, the money gets redistributed into higher paying amounts to the people who are on the sheet. Alex is guilty of this with proof for 2 separate months. The May month, I have been organizing a speaker event, which went successfully with Leah Thomas with Mehmet. We both worked for May on the event and organized our weekly meetings and helped lead them. I was continuing the work that I've been doing for a zine group and CARE for our Sudan campaign in June. This whole year, Alex has shown terrible inactivity with his position. He's failed to reimburse 3 students for event purchases. This alone means so much to me because a student will spend $100 or more out of their own pocket for our own cook's mission, only to be let down. Of the reimbursed students, Alex has messed with their food and rent money. Community is so important. It's the only thing that we have. And by doing things like this, it breaks it. Alex will blame SOPS, though the cause that I came to is because of Alex's lack of punctuality with filling out forms on time and using timelines given ahead to no advantage. Alex cannot do financial tasks for a club year-round, so I don't understand how they can be trusted with a student government finance position. Alex has also taken control of our elections, adding in a person last minute who went through no official CARE routes. Alex didn't give a speech or slide like the rest of the candidates and immediately put the newly elected co-directors on Engage to pay them for June. Although current co-directors like me and Tatiana here, we're still doing work for CARE in June. They filled 4 co-director spots with next year's board, although 5 were elected. Once again, not filling all the spots leads them to be paid more money to themselves. I have text proof of me communicating this change, that this change should have not happened until next year. Beyond the enoughness and over-control Alex was exerting onto CARE, let me tell you about our budget. Alex has failed to spend fund time and time again, despite promising to complete these simple tasks. The money we have left over. He said in front of 3 co-directors and 4 CARE interns this past Monday that we wouldn't have to worry about spending the rest of our budget being impacted because Reagan, another CARE co-director, will be head of PFC and she knows the situation. The situation is that Alex has zero legitimacy on his ability to spend an org's budget, and because of his inactivity, he felt entitled due to his and Raven's Senate position that these mistakes would be forgiven and forgotten. It is a huge disrespect to all other orgs who do the work to spend their money and get increases as they deserve. Alex is trying to use his position to backdoor this process and cheat. They do not deserve a position of power over money because they are so inadequate and abusive with it, much less a position on PFC. Now you might be asking, why is Alex doing this to you, Tyler? Am I truth? Alex has been increasingly worrisome this past winter when he started being very demanding and rude when communicating with other co-directors and at events to the crowd when he has the microphone. He has been completely undermining my position as events co-director and communicating with other orgs about event details I was never aware of. He went back on plans made collectively to push forth with his own monotone ideas. Actively suppressing my ideas and dismissing my voice, this misogynistic behavior was getting to be too much. At a CARE board meeting, I called Alex out, pointing out the over-controlling and narcissistic behavior. He took this poorly and started shit-talking me to various communities I have been a part of, like groups in the VOR and the MCC, making me feel very worried and self-conscious to enter these spaces, as I didn't know what horrendous things they had heard made from this pathological liar. Alex has also made many dismissive and dehumanizing comments towards people, which when called out, they stay silent. No one really stands up to Alex. If a non-Black person says something to Alex that they don't like, Alex accuses them of being racist, which reflects bad on the Black community. Alex has also been known in the VOR space to cause constant drama, and as a result, breaks relationships between them, making public spaces feel uncomfortable, and anyone associated with him also suffers, myself included. But me, I am the confrontational type. Everyone else who has tried to go against Alex has never followed through. It's not worth the time and the stigma they would gain. But me, I don't give a fuck. I've been fighting my whole life against egregious people like Alex. He tried to make me lose more friends by trash-talking me on campus communities. He took money away that I need to eat and to pay rent to live in this economy. He continuously dimmed my org's events and mission through his incapability to do forms, which was his whole job. All because I used my voice to call him out on the bullshit he was putting people through. And he sits there and he thought he was gonna get away with this sneaky behavior, moving money around to benefit themselves. If y'all don't take this warning now, I can guarantee the Senate will become more toxic and drama-filled than anyone will have the energy for. I refuse to be complicit in this clear and illegal abuse of power. I will not be silenced by this rude and oppressive person. This is not even everything I have to call him out for, but the other reasons are beyond Senate's control. I strongly, strongly encourage the resignation of the electorally uncontested Senator Alex Huku. He does not deserve to be in a place of power, and which I mentioned earlier, he clearly abuses all this power for his own greed. I believe he will ruin bonds with student orgs using ASUO's title, reflecting badly on ASUO. I'm working with SOLs to try and remove him from any club leadership position. I'm working with stipend coordinators to try and get my money back, and I want to work with all of you to get him off this Senate. I will be drafting a censure, and I hope none of you have to experience the horrors I have. But do know that if you associate with him or try to hold him accountable, he will try and ruin your reputation, and if he has access to it, your financials. Thank you.
Okay. I'd like to reset the timer. Hello everyone. My name is May O'Neill. I was on the Senate last year. I was a care co-director. I've also done some other stuff. But yeah. So I'd like to make first abundantly clear that we're bringing this to the Senate because with all the transition processes, there's not really a reasonable way to formally file a grievance. And oftentimes during these transition processes, nobody actually listens to the things that are happening. I know when I was transitioning into being a senator, tons of stuff just flew under the rug, I guess, under people's noses. So just wanted to make this abundantly clear. I also have many grievances. I was in care board until May 24th when I quit due to conglomerated grievances, which I had attempted to address in meetings, but were not helped. And the next day, Alex emailed to remove my stipend for the month of May and June, as well as Tyler's, although Tyler had never quit, which is quite egregious. Because of the deadlines for the stipend form being May 14th/15th of every month, I can't remember which one, I believe that this is a problematic and unfair decision. I believe that I have the right to the stipend for the month of May. Other people may disagree with that, but regardless, Tyler certainly does deserve to be having the stipends for the entire month of May, as well as June. And it was extremely unprecedented ever taking them off in the first place because it's nowhere in our bylaws that somebody can just do that by themselves. Even if Alex had talked to the one person or the two other people, it still wouldn't be allowed because there has to be the majority of care board approving these kinds of decisions. I'm pretty sure, unless the bylaws were changed. I believe this is a problematic and unfair decision. This financial mismanagement and abuse of power is extremely unreasonable, and I strongly encourage the resignation of Senator Alex Hugo.
Is there anybody else in the crowd who would like to read the public forum?
Hello, I am Tatiana, she, her pronouns. I am a fellow co-director of care. Tyler and May covered a lot of the main points, but I just want to kind of affirm this horrendous experience. So in the month of May, I received a larger than usual stipend along with who I assume Alex and Raven did. And as it turns out, Co-directors Tyler and Meme were not paid at all for the work. Yes, Meme did leave on May 24th, but during that month, Tyler and Meme worked together to organize major events such as our Leah Thomas event. If this was us and the government, quite simply, Alex would probably be prosecuted. I feel like something should be done about this. This is absolutely horrendous. I'm also concerned that current co-directors such as myself and Tyler, who have not quit at all, will not be getting our stipend if nothing is done. As soon as we finish our last meeting with our fellow members, we were removed from the Engage, and we are currently marked as no longer being co-directors. The new co-directors should not be getting their stipends until the fall term. Alex has a history of using their power to control others. He has a history of inciting drama within the club and making degrading statements to others within the club, and even gossiping about CARE co-directors to interns. They are now using money to control other co-directors, and I do not trust them in Senate or as a co-director for the following year. I also want to call out that he could potentially be using his power to influence others. There has been a divide with our interns, and I just think that there's a massive power imbalance there as well. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Valerie. I'm not part of CARE, but I do have a message to read from Erin Reed, who is a student. I watched Alice Hugh, who crashed and burned from afar over the past 2 years. For someone who occupies spaces dedicated to advocating for others, fostering community, and critiquing systems of power, their actions within these spaces reflect the antithesis of everything they claim to stand for. Alice was introduced to me as a friend, and for a while I'd considered them to be such. However, I have gradually heard and witnessed how horribly he treats the very people who got him where he is today. The very last straw was my roommates being written off their care stipends without any consent or knowledge that it was being done. As a result, Alex was paid twice as much for work he did not do, work that they did. This was a disgusting abuse of his position, and I am so severely disappointed in the person my friend turned out to be. Alex's actions as co-director and community member have been driven by greed and selfishness. I don't know how one can grow from such behavior if they decide to double down on it, especially in direct response to your friends telling you to knock it off before you fly too close to the sun. It seems he has ultimately decided to make an Icarus of himself. So, for the betterment of Senate, his judgment should not be trusted as it has been historically paired with self-serving motives. It's not something the school needs any more of. I could not be here in person to say so, but I wholeheartedly call for the resignation of Senator Alex Hugh.
Hi everyone, my name is Ria and I'm a senior at EVO, and I call for the resignation of Senator Alex. I have seen and been affected by his unprofessional and unfriendly actions and agree with everything that the past people have said. As someone that has known him for a lot of him as a friend, overall seeing him grow into the person that he is now, I fear for student organizations and also the Senate seats if he is to continue to go.
Is there anybody else from the gallery who would like to speak for public forum?
My name is Carly. I've been a member of CARE. Though I haven't been there as much recently, I also stand by Meme and Tyler and other members of CARE. My name is Gordon Park. I also would urge the resignation of Alex Hugh.
Is there anybody else from the gallery who would like to speak on public forum?
Okay. Hi, my name is Raven Strotter. I don't like speaking on topics like this, but I'm also co-director of CARE. I'm also on PSC. My name was dropped earlier, which, yeah. I would also like to say I've never said anything about CARE, like, being treated differently than other clubs. I've actually said on record that I don't think that Carol will be tiered up because I don't think we meet the requirements. There's a ton of other clubs that also need to be tiered up. Like I've said these things pretty publicly. I'll also say that this has been like an ongoing club dispute that's been going on for like several months, and I do think that it's not one-sided. Recently, we've had like 2 events that are in collaborations with other works where Alex has been like the only person that shows up from our board. I do think that Alex does a lot for our organization. I also think that there's a lot of issues within the club. I do not think the stipend thing was correct whatsoever. But I'm not going to say that Alex doesn't do work for our organization. Alex put a lot of work into the decolonizing Earth Day event, which had over 100 people. That's the only event we've had this year that's had that high of a turnout, and we've only had one other event on top of that, which is our conference. We had a collaboration with Zeta Phi Beta sorority where it was having to do noxious weeds and removing them, and Alex was the only one that showed up for our organization, which when you shove out a partnership with an organization and they don't even show up for it, I feel like that's really saying where the club is at. I don't think that Alex should have to resign. I do think that there's issues that need to be fixed. I do think the stipends need to be fixed, and that's all I'll say.
Is there anybody else from the gallery who would like to speak for public forum? All right, we will move on to financial business. Currently, surplus sits at $140,130, with unallocated reserves sitting at $11,953. Before we get into requests, I would like to let all senators aware know that this is the last meeting that we can consider any financial business, except for summer bridge requests for fiscal year these. Whatever fiscal year we're on right now. So if an org does not show, or if for whatever reason the Senate decides that we do not want to approve, I do ask a motion to postpone indefinitely instead of tabling, just so we have it right on the record. With that being said, we will move to transfer requests, starting with the Korean Student Association. Please come on up and talk about your request.
Hello guys, my name is Song and I'm representing the Korean Student Association. This year, the Korean Student Association had one of the most successful K-nights where we celebrated our Korean culture through cultural performances, food, and traditional activities. Although our attendance this year at our general meetings were on the lower side, our main event K-night had one of the greatest attendances in KSA history. In addition, we had our most successful social event this year, our ice cream and pizza social, with incredibly high attendance. I would argue that this greatly fulfilled KSA's mission to create a welcoming community for all students at the University of Oregon while promoting Korean culture. And because of this trend of having more attendance at our social events rather than general meeting attendance, we chose to prioritize funding towards our social events rather than the membership training retreat and the office supplies. So we asked to transfer 1,170 from the office general supplies line and 1,966 from the KSA membership training line to the social events line.
Thank you. We will now open the floor for discussion, starting with Senator Mariaga.
Thanks for being here. It's pretty straightforward, so I was just gonna go ahead and make a motion. I move to transfer funds within Group Korean Student Association, LS number LS 0485 from existing line item KSA office / general supplies to existing line item social events in the amount of $1,170, and from existing line item KSA membership training MT retreat to existing line item social events in the amount of $1,966 for a total amount of $3,136.
Motion made by Mariaga, seconded by Stevenson. We will continue with discussion. Are there any other senators who would like to speak? All right, discussion has ended, and we will now move to roll call. This is our first roll call just for new senators. As we go through, I will say your last name, and then you will either vote aye, or you will vote nay, or you will abstain. All right, starting with Murad. Hugh. Aye. Omer. Malia. Franks.
Aye.
Overdue. Aye. Bazan is fun.
Aye.
Cole. Aye. Allen now.
Aye.
Stevenson.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Mariaga. Questenberry. Taylor.
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Congratulations. Moving on, we will move to surplus to Blossom Empowerment Project. Is there anybody from Blossom Empowerment Project here or on Zoom? Better Questenberry.
I move to suspend the request from Blossom Empowerment Project indefinitely.
Second.
Motion made by Questenberry, seconded by Senator Hassan. All in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. And the request is postponed indefinitely. Next, we will move to summer bridge surplus requests with the American Institute of Architects students. Hello, please tell us a little bit about yourselves and about your request.
Hello, my name is Brad. I am the treasurer of Freedom by Design, which is a club that is collaborating with the American Institute of Architecture students on this bridge request.
And I'm Miles Watson. I am the director of Freedom by Design. It's collaborating with the American Institute of Architecture. We're here today seeking money to attend the grassroots conference held in Washington, D.C. And just a little bit about ourselves. Freedom by Design does design and build projects on campus, which is like our students design and then build projects that improve the Eugene community. And the American Institute of Architecture students works to empower architecture students within the college of design to help them better serve the world. And grassroots in DC is a way for us to better learn leadership skills that we could use to serve our club members, U of O, and hopefully let Brett speak about the budget.
Yes. This conference is hosted by our national organization. So Freedom by Design is the community service branch of the club that is the American Institute of Architecture students. And we are sending Freedom by Design's director for next year, Miles Watson, as well as 2 board members from the American Institute of Architecture students, Danny Hill, who cannot be here today because he's sick, and Guy Tree, who is the president, I believe. Just to quickly walk you guys through our budget, this travel will take place between the days of July 15th and July 19th, this coming July. And we are requesting a total of $6,449 for 3 of them to travel. We got our airfare by, I don't have to go into it if you guys want to, but we traveled last year. We went to this conference last year. Freedom by Design sent 2 people, and we followed the same way that we created our budget that we did last year. Just the one thing to note is that within the budget might be a little confusing. The total amount that we need is $6,768. However, the American Institute of Architecture students already has $319 in that they can spend and are transferring into this line item. So we only need a total of $6,400. And yeah, that should be it.
Okay, thank you. We'll now open the floor for discussion. Senator Questenberry.
Okay, so I want to make sure I got the numbers right, that I heard it. So from surplus, it's $6,449.
Yes.
And then the transfer is $319.
Correct.
From the conference's line item.
I believe so.
So that sounds right.
Yes.
Okay, so what line item is this money going to?
The person who submitted this is Danny. He's not here. Since I'm part of Freedom by Design, I don't know what AIS's budget looks like, but I believe, if they're not creating a new line item, I imagine there's just an existing one. But I'm sorry, I cannot answer that right now.
Okay, let me pull up the ledger and see if there is already a travel line item. Probably what's the best fit.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll put it there.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about if there's any confusion about that.
No, you're good. And then, does anyone see where the 319 is coming from? Because the gauge says that it's coming from the conferences line item, which it sounds like it should go into the conferences line item.
I really don't know. If it's already in there, then I guess we don't have to transfer it. I really apologize. This is not the club that submitted this is not the one I'm treasurer for, so I really don't know.
You guys met with, I believe it was Senator Marriaga and former Senator Peters. Do either of you remember from the conversation that you had with the organization?
So Freedom by Design met with Senator Marriaga a couple weeks ago about us submitting this on, like Freedom by Design submitting this by ourselves, and we just tripled the budget and combined with AIS, who met with Senator Peters for during their right after their PSC hearing. So at least when Freedom by Design was doing it, we have our own grassroots conference line item that was pre-existing from last year. I assume that AIS would if they don't have a correct conference line already, that they would create their own.
Okay, I will yield to Senator Marriaga.
Okay, I should know it's gonna be helpful, but I have in my notes like Freedom by Design, that it was originally 2,218. So you have a whole breakdown, but no transfer in mine, so I feel like this is a little outdated. I yield back.
Can I yield the members of the audience?
Yeah.
All right, I will yield to Michael Peters.
Hi. When I talked to Danny last week, I'm pretty sure that this number, the total was not including, or was including the amount that they already had in their ledger that was left over. Did you guys get the email from SOFS that has the ledgers?
Yeah.
And there's a conference line with $500 in it. I would say let's stick to the original requested amount, because you said you thought it was 300, correct?
Yeah, the original whatever transfer thing was 319, but 6,449 takes out any sort of transfer.
Do you by chance have like a phone number or contact with Danny in any way?
Yeah.
Because we could table the request for now while we figure this out and move on to other agenda items.
We could also get the amount right now because we're going to be over, because right now there's 500 in the conferences line item currently. And in total, the total amount is 6,768. And with the surplus for 6,449 would put us almost at 7,000 total, which would cover what you need. And then whatever is left over, you can just send back to surplus or roll over surplus.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. And I will say that last year, Freedom by Design had leftover money. We did the same thing. So we would be perfectly fine doing that again.
So that's awesome. Okay.
Just on the floor.
Okay. We'll do that. So, all right. I move to authorize spending from surplus to Group American Institute of Architecture students, OS number 006I, in the amount of $6,449 to line item conferences.
Second, Mariaga.
Motion made by Questenberry, seconded by Marriaga, and we are at I'm sorry. And we're at the end of the discussion. So we will move to roll call. Didn't pick your last name right. Murad. Hugh.
Aye.
Homer.
Aye.
Molly. Aye.
Aye.
Franks.
Aye.
Romanude.
Aye.
Lozana Smith.
Aye.
Cole.
Aye.
Alan Abt.
Aye.
Stevenson.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Ianho.
Aye.
Marriaga.
Aye.
Questenberry. Taylor. Aye. And I vote aye as well. Congratulations. We will now move to confirmations for senators who have not been through this process yet. How this is going to work is that President Gill is going to come up with their nominee, and they're going to explain a little bit about themselves and why they think that would be good for the role. I will open the floor to questions, not deliberation. When we are done with questions, we will ask the person being confirmed to step out of the room for deliberation and possible motion. With that being said, the floor is yours, President Gill.
Awesome. Thank you, Speaker Higley. Good to see everyone. My name is Clay Adrian. I'm the ASUO president, and I'm here to introduce my nominees for the executive designees for the Finance Committee, both PFC and CFC. Starting with PFC, Marisol is someone I had the privilege to work with last year and was genuinely one of the biggest resources I could rely on as Senate Speaker, and is genuinely one of the smartest people I've ever met. She understands the university systems better than I can ever imagine, and I'm someone who takes pride in really understanding systems and stuff. So yeah, really can't say enough about Marisol. She is someone that is a unapologetic advocate for students and student orgs, and yeah, she is my nomination for PFC, and I'll give her a chance to speak on her behalf.
AFP, my name is Marisol, like Adrian said. Last year I had the pleasure, past 2 years I had the pleasure of serving on the Senate as PFC Senate Seat 2, and then this past year I was also the chair of the program's Finance Committee. In addition to that, I have also served as a co-director for the Native American Student Union and just been heavily involved with the Native American Student Union my entire time at this university, and that's really where my advocacy for student orgs is based and is in my experience as the leader of a cultural organization. And then my other thing, and then another big reason why I'm really excited for this position is that I work at University Archives researching the history of ASUO as an institution and helping get more public access to the materials of ASUOs that are held within institutional archives. And I think that there's a lot of power in understanding the history of specifically ASUO as an institution. So I'd love to hear some questions from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Marisol. We will now open the floor for questions, starting with Senator Stevens.
Hello. For the senators that don't know, could you explain what it is that you've done with the records? And also, am I incorrect for believing that you are why AOLC, like the Affinity Org Liaison Committee, exists?
So I'll answer those two questions. So the first part, I was a part of the Records and Knowledge Committee as a part of my time on Senate and helped draft a resolution which basically standardized the way that we keep our records and how we keep our records and the material that we're giving to university archives. So if you don't know, all the institutions on campus must follow a records retention schedule, and then the material that's deemed historically relevant comes over to us at University Archives. ASUO has not given us anything for about 20 years. We think since about the 90s, maybe early 2000s, we really haven't been able to find anything from ASUO within our institutional archive. So that means that everything that ASUO has done for the past 30 years, there will be no record of it within the archive. And as someone who works in the archive, that was really concerning to me. So as a part of my work on the Records and Knowledge Committee, actually with Piper, we drafted a resolution to hopefully do a better job about the way that we're keeping material. And then also I process the material that we do have in university archives that are ASUO material, because all the material ASUO has ever given the library is not publicly accessible. So a huge part of my job at the library is working to make that material publicly accessible. And then the second part of the question in regards to the Affinity Org Liaison Committee, if you don't know, 2 years ago, the ASUO executive paid for a concert out of surplus with about $300,000 of surplus to have a concert on the same day as the Mother's Day powwow. And the Mother's Day powwow has been happening for about 60 years. It's the single most important event for Native American students on this campus. And ASUO hosted a concert with $300,000 of student org money on the same day as our most important event. And I was a co-director of the Native American Student Union at the time, so we staged a protest of the Senate. It's my first experience with ASUO. And through the concert was eventually canceled, we drafted a resolution, which I really recommend that you all read, called the Protect the Powwow Resolution. As a part of that resolution, it mandates the creation of the Affinity Org Liaison Committee.
And thank you. Any other, sorry.
Thank you, I yelled.
Are there any other questions? Senator, I promise I'll get it right.
It's all good. I'm very cool. Nice to see you again. So how would you try to, I know last year there was the relationship between PFD and the contentious, so how would you try?
So I think there's a lot of different things that can be done to change that. And I think, one of the parts of it is that the executive designee's position is also to help facilitate that connection between the program's finance committee and the executive and communicate to both sides of that, to the executive and to the committee, the wants and where each side of that is. I also think that there are a lot of things that we could have been doing before the relationship got as contentious as it did in January to mitigate that. I'm a really big believer in the value of relationships as the basis for everything. And I think that the intentional development of a relationship between not only the program's finance committee, but all of the finance committees and the executive, as well as the intentional development of a relationship across the finance committees, is something that we could have done a much better job of this year, and is something that is really going to help us as we face a really hard budget season, is really intentional relationship developing, so that when we do have to have these hard conversations, it's not the first time we're sitting down together. It will be something that is based in a relationship that has continued over time.
Just for a note for all the senators, you did receive in your roll email, if you have access to it, application and resume material. If you'd like to use that for reference, are there any other questions before we move to deliberation? All right, you're going to add to that, you step out, I will be deliberating, we will come get you when deliberation is over. I will now open the floor for deliberation, starting with Senator Quessenberry.
All right, I'm going to speak in full support of Marisol to this position. If we didn't see her expertise right now live in our meeting, I yielded to her for her knowledge. She and every meeting was such a great resource for us. So I think.
So yeah, we'd like to ask that no one uses the mic during yield breath. Thank you.
And anything else?
Secondly, could you guys hold up your placards until I see it? Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, no, you're good. I should have it. And so I think that she'd be excellent here to represent the executive in PFC. So I will go ahead and I'll get the motion on the floor. We'll continue deliberating, but I will get it out there. So I move to confirm Marisol Peters to PFC executive designee.
Motion made by Quessenberry, seconded by Stevenson. We will move on with deliberation. Senator Bazan.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I don't know anyone better than Marisol for this position. Being a student org leader and having to go to new meetings like our tag meeting, and then also asking for the biggest request of funds and surplus. I can't name anyone that helped us more than Marisol, really. And I mean, I think she has more than enough expertise being PFC chair. So yeah, I'm 100% full support of confirming Marisol for this position. Thank you, I yield.
Senator Stevenson.
Yeah, so I have been the treasurer of BMA, Black Men of Achievement, or Black Male Alliance, formerly for the last 2 years or so. And without Marisol and the rest of the POC last year, our club would have probably gone under this year. And I was getting ready to call the question, but I know there are a lot of senators that want to speak. Is anyone iffy? Because I'm ready to vote. Because I'm getting ready to call the question. I'll call the question.
All right, Senator Stephen calls the question. This calling the question as a reminder is a motion to, if you vote aye, we will move to a vote. If you vote nay, we will continue deliberation. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. We will now move to roll call for the vote. Morag.
Hugh.
Aye.
Homer.
Aye.
Maliat.
Aye.
Briggs.
Aye.
Romadeau.
Aye.
Bazan.
Aye.
Cole.
Aye.
Alanab. Stevenson.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Pando.
Aye.
Mariaga. Pleasantberry. Taylor.
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Get her back in here.
Thank you all so much, Senators. I appreciate you guys' support, and I'm excited to see what PFC does this year.
Thank you guys, and also I'm gonna use this time to remind PFC that we have a meeting tomorrow too.
All right, we will move on to our next confirmation. Piper Smith for Contracts Finance Committee Executive Designee. Whenever you're ready.
And next is Piper Smith. Piper is someone that ran in last year's ASUO election, unaffiliated, without a slate. She has a very strong passion for ASUO and has been a very valuable member of PFC. Her experience in childcare fields has really helped us through our childcare procurement process. And I always appreciate her value or her insight and the things she brings to the committee and what she brought to the Senate as a senator last year. And I've also gotten the chance to watch Piper grow a lot as a senator. She started very timid and has grown into one of the strongest advocates for students in ASUO. And so I'm very excited to nominate Piper for CFC Executive Designee, and I'll give her a chance to speak.
I'm gonna go back to being timid because it was intimidating not following very slowly. But I'm Piper. I'm a second year public relations and 3PM major, and I was Senate Seat 6 last year on CFC. Yeah. So working with Quadrian and Logan a lot in our committee. I mostly worked with the Daily Emerald Legal Services, and we did some projects like one-time funding for a Portland pilot program for Daily Emerald, and just having legal services running. And like as a committee, we're still working on some ongoing projects with some legal services funding to hopefully just expand like immigration services and funding for that. And so that's something that I really have enjoyed doing and really want to continue doing. And then while we're in our childcare procurement process, I do think like having 4 years of childcare experience is really valuable, knowing the relationships with parents and their childcare providers and the importance of like quality service and things like that. Is something that I can bring to our committee that is pretty unique and very important because our childcare process and like that whole contract has been like very contentious in the past, and it is very important to our community. Besides ASUO, I just work part-time jobs a lot. I'm really proud of being like prison education program intern and doing stuff for that, playing on art shows, doing policy work, working with re-entry programs and teaching. Yeah, that's all. Any questions?
All right, thank you, Piper. We will now open the floor for questions, starting with Senator Stevenson.
Yeah, so you said you work just part-time jobs. Could you speak about your involvement with scheduling and event services? Is that the correct title?
Yeah. One of my jobs is to sit at a desk and schedule people's events. And a lot of people are in student work, so I know a lot about the events and sometimes help with that stuff. Sometimes there's interesting working relationships, so I try and be a liaison for that, but yeah.
Thank you, IU.
Any other questions? Okay, we will reach deliberation. We call you back in once the decision is made.
No, I just want to talk and obviously support. Piper was great on Senate last year, this year. And she definitely knows what she's doing. Good person to come talk to. I asked her a lot of questions and things in the office, and she was always very helpful. And just coming on a little later than most people, definitely needed that extra help. So I want to go ahead and just put a motion out there, just continue delivering. But I move to confirm Piper Smith as CFC Executive Designee.
Thank you so much.
Motion made by Mariano, seconded by Taylor. We will continue on with deliberation. Senator Stevenson.
Yeah, with the prison, I want to say it was the prison ed project. I can't remember the exact title of it, but Piper came into Senate and made an announcement, and the chefs came into the BCC actually and prepped the food for the event. And a few of us like went to it, and it was super interesting to see the interaction and the comfortability that Piper had in interacting with these like adults and people in spaces that I hadn't ever seen or interacted with before. And so I would also speak in full support of Piper being a liaison between exec and CFC and the tags that she might get. So yeah, thank you. I yield.
Deputy Speaker Taylor.
Yeah, I just kind of want to echo what people have already been saying. I cannot speak highly enough about Piper. She was literally indispensable to our committee last year. She's incredibly resourceful. She was pulling up tax documents on some of our contracts, which again, it's not something that we started doing for a lot of them. She's incredibly empathetic, incredibly driven. Mindful by far. I yield.
Are there any other deliberations? Okay, we will move to vote. Nora. You. Omer. Maliat. Franks.
Aye.
Robidoux.
Aye.
Zanisban.
Aye.
Cole. Aye. Ellenap.
Aye.
Stevenson.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Danho.
Aye.
Maliaga.
Aye.
Wessenberry.
Aye.
Taylor.
Aye.
I vote aye as well. Congratulations.
Once again, thank you all so much. Over the summer, I'll be bringing y'all the DFC exec designee, some Concord justices, and the election board folks. So be prepared. Thank you all, and I'll let Piper speak.
Thank you. I'm really excited to do it again.
We will now move on to the presentations portion. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Summer Senate, and then when they're done talking, I'm going to call us to recess, and I'm going to give you guys some time to fill out the form, just because I have to have these numbers by Friday, and so if we're all in the room doing it, that would be great. So Summer Senate have a little bit of a different format than what we usually do during the school year. I believe it is section either 6, I think it's section 16 in the Senate rules if you want to look further into it. But senators, you all are required to either opt in or opt out of Summer Senate by 5 p.m. this Friday. For senators that do not participate, you cannot vote during the summer Senate session, but you still have to attend at least one of the virtual meetings. Meetings are going to occur every other week over the summer, and you can see the ranges of the dates on the form that I'm going to be sending up here in a second. And then we will return to in-person weekly meetings on September 30th, week 1 of fall term. And we can also, if needed, call emergency meetings, either myself or a certain amount of senators. Summer senators, your main priorities are to attend meetings and to also complete trainings that are assigned by myself and Senator Robidoux. Those can look like finance committee procedures, academic committee procedures, resolutions, Robert's rules, budgets and ledger, and surplus allocation procedures. For new senators who have opted out, you are still required to complete all the trainings that are assigned to you. Returning senators, if you were to opt out, you have to work and make progress on a project agreed between myself, you, and Senator Robidoux. Summer Senate can hear and act upon requests between now and July 1st.
We aren't gonna have new financial requests because it's past the deadline, and we won't receive our next round of surplus until that July 1st date. We can allocate up to 25% of the surplus balance on July 1st. We can allocate funds from unallocated reserve if available, but it will most likely not be available. And Summer Senate can adopt resolutions in accordance with Senate rules. I still have to get clarity on this from SGES, but voting senators, those who are participating in Summer Senate, you will receive your full amount minus $200 off the legislative officer pay. And then if I interpreted right, some senators who have opted out, you will receive half of your stipend pay minus $200 off the legislative base. And then for accountability, summer senators, you are expected to attend all meetings in this department. And then senators who opted in and opt out, failed to meet their commitment with trainings, making progress on a work, you are subject to discipline action set forth by the Senate rules. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send this in our Teams chat. If you guys can take 5 minutes to fill this out, pull up your calendars, just so we can set a schedule for Summer Senate. And we will come back here at 8:10. The Senate is on recess. Okay. Oh, you know what it was. I got it. Wait, it says you need access? Yeah. Try now. No, oh come on. Okay, it's accepting responses. Wait. I think I now try. Now we're okay. Yeah. You can get up. Draft.
Yeah, sorry.
Early.
Basically just an ASO activity, that's like I'm pretty sure you did it all the time. Like,
Hey.
June sit down required.
What's up?
Oh, gosh.
You go play? No, you go play. Prior research. Should we go play? Like where? Where? Test? Check. I'm down. Lamar, you on here? Center. I'll just say that. Pronounce it.
Aleo.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. Not a spot. It's always the second last. That one hurts me. It's like a knife through the chest. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that gave me flashbacks, bro, when I broke fucking cheat hose. Oh, no, I'm
Oh my god. Anybody else wants right there? So we can get it. Actually, that's yeah. It's like we thought everybody knows that how much she just sales. If that's not should go to my head. It's too much. Well.
We're gonna come back to order in like 3 minutes. But we'll see.
I'm a teacher, and I absolutely embrace everything that was team on the student was not the on their last. I don't know why they like it, but it's really
I'm still figuring out exactly your role, but I don't get in. If people don't come back, I get told. Are you busy at all? What are you doing? Yeah, just let me know. I'll get in contact with you too.
Yeah.
It's
LOL.
what is this? Oh, it's not really working that well.
I got
Oh, you have to put it on. Hey, what are we gonna eat later? Give me one of your meal preps. I'll make you some quarterly.
What's it called when you like spell it how it's pronounced?
Is that what they're calling spaghettios these days? See, the last days I said fuck.
I mean, you just say it like so fast. I feel like you're trying to hide behind. Can't say it. Sorry.
You don't gotta call me out like that.
But I gave you the what's it called? Wait, phenomics.
I don't like that. Oh, that's great. I don't like these chairs. Like, I want to lean back just a little bit and then go.
Yeah, dude. Like tension.
Like I completely untightened my chair last week. This is.
I'm not gonna lie, I write it so fast in my notes usually like in my like different. I know like the other parents still listen about things, but they just like it.
Oh, thank you.
In like 3 weeks. That's we're gonna stay jumping on the other side.
Everybody know about. I've never. Update. Yeah, it's not last name.
Wait, which one is it? Did you guys figure it out?
See this?
Yeah.
It's there's a flick.
It's facing down or on the other side.
Oh no.
Look that these chairs don't break and are also part of the internet conspiracy theory.
When we like it's how
Great show. Glad they were
just talking about chairs right now. I know. It's the same. It's the same thing.
No, yours broken.
Yeah, I think it is too.
So
What is it? Al Naif.
I'll nail.
Al Naif.
All inhabitants. No, wrong. I'll nail.
Oh, it's Spain.
Bazan is Spain.
Bazan is fun. Give Brandon a break, man. A break. Day two. Yeah.
I don't have to worry. I'm really white names.
It's like either or, you know.
You don't want both?
That's funny.
You don't want like both?
No, I prefer both, but
How do you say it?
it's on Spain.
It's on Spain.
I prefer both, but it's not the other team.
It's Martiaga. Is that? There's no T in my name.
Say that again?
I asked if the first Senate meeting was remember.
Oh, the Senate is gonna come back to order. And we will move on to the agenda. We will move on to Senate executive updates. Exec, if you do not have any updates, feel free to just yield back. We're gonna start with academic chairs, Pam's host.
Hi guys, I don't have too many updates, just quickly for my academic centers, I'll be nominating soon in the next week or so, the UO faculty nominations, so keep an eye out on your teams and make sure to come to our first meeting.
Yeah, not really many updates. Meeting with the former ombudsperson to get more, familiar with the role and what I'll be doing. I'll be working, as quick as possible to fully understand the role and address some of the concerns you might have after the meeting. So yeah.
Treasurer Charmond is not here. Me and him have been working on getting IFANs and everything approved. This meeting, after that, me and him are just gonna make sure that everybody's stipends are in check. And that you guys are getting paid. And now everybody can speak your hand.
Not much right now. We're just doing a lot of work to get everything set up. But yeah, we had some questions about working groups in our pre-Senate meetings earlier, and I just wanted to encourage everybody, if you have ideas, to put them out there, especially at our next meeting, the summer coming up. If you have free time to work on a project, just leave it going.
Okay, my updates are going to be a little bit longer than that. I'm sorry, you guys. My general Senator Martiaga.
For you. About the seventh one.
Yeah.
If you are aware, do I have to refill that out or is it still like a must?
I believe you do have to refill it out.
Yes. Okay.
And Nicole should send that to you.
Yeah, I have it. I just okay. Thank you.
Updates for me. Mostly this last week, I've been having meetings with President Gill, Vice President Peralta, Deputy Taylor, and just been creating documents, getting I'll talk about committees in a second, getting summer Senate situations set up, and just overall learning more about my role. For committees, I know it was slated on the agenda to talk about tonight, but we did have some issues arise where we are going to have to extend a little bit before we assign committees. If you have questions regarding that, please talk to Deputy Speaker Taylor or myself. But we should have committees set in stone by our first summer Senate meeting. Thank you for those who filled out the form. I really appreciate it. I know budgets are on a lot of people's minds, especially as we approach the July 1st date. I will let you guys know now, especially around the IB, that we still don't have a clear understanding of what the July 1st balance is going to look like. As soon as we do, President Gill and I will make sure to communicate that with you guys on where we are financially. So just we should have a better understanding, hopefully by next summer Senate, our first summer Senate meeting here in a couple of weeks. A couple of them, I yield the floor to President Gill.
Just to say, it took us about till mid-August to actually get that surplus total. The next fiscal year starts July 1st, but then SOS at that point has to start consolidating and actually processing all the payments. So usually the new surplus date comes out about midway through August.
Thank you. A couple of reminders. Please, three pleases, be checking Teams. It is what we communicate with when we are outside of the office, outside of committee meetings. It is what we use for internal communication. So please be checking that along with your role email. If you need help either, let me know or let Deputy Speaker Taylor know and we can help you. Like I said earlier, I should have summer Senate dates ready for you all by this weekend. So you can put them into your calendar. Depending on your response, I will be reaching out just for some clarifications. And then in regards to making motions and asking questions, please don't feel afraid to do so. I know this is a very intimidating room, and I know a lot of us haven't had practice, but we're here to help. So please, if you have any questions about Robert's rules or parliamentary procedure, please let me know. I can help, and I'm sure Deputy Speaker Taylor and Molly can help as well, help you understand it better. Our wonderful clerks, like Maddie over here on my right, are going to be sending out forms soon about your guys' name tags. So please be. You should either have it now or have it very soon. So keep an eye out for that. For the next week, after tonight, my availability is going to be limited, but I can meet. Just shoot me a Teams. I'll be in the office here and there. Yeah, I just overall hope you guys have good finals. Senator
Yeah, work on it, Travis. Yeah, I was gonna ask, is the finance committee getting updates? Yeah, we're not.
We do not have that on the agenda just because I know PFC and CFC haven't chosen chairs yet. DOC just chose our chair yesterday, Senator Gazan. So I'm going to wait until committee chairs are finalized before I add finance committee updates to the agenda.
Okay, you.
And next, we will move to Vice President.
Okay. For exec, we are still in the process of hiring. Thanks for confirming our 2 exec designees. We're so excited. We finished interviewing for chief of staff today. We should hopefully have some feedback by the end of the week. We'll be hiring for the next 2 weeks. And what happened this week? UO Latinx Student Coalition had a faculty roundtable yesterday, and you will be attending the Latinx Center Task Force meeting tomorrow. So I think that is it for this week. Are you?
I also wanted to add the update real quick. Thank you, VP Peralta. Also, I just want to let you know that as we hire people, I plan on bringing this and introducing them to you guys, so you guys get to know the executive cabinet and what each person's doing. When you see them in the office, it isn't just a bunch of strangers. And I also wanted to give you an update on a request that will be coming forward likely in the middle of summer. Last year, as many of you guys know, the forensics program faced a very scary outcome where they looked like they were no longer going to exist on campus, and DFC worked very hard to set aside money for them into DFC's unallocated reserve fund, one that's at 11,973 right now. Once the new fiscal year comes, it'll be 80,000 or 91,973. That 80K is something we signed an MOU with the forensics program with. So if they were to find a departmental home, they could come to Senate and ask for those funds so they could be back on their way to being a department here at school. I just learned that they have found a departmental home in the philosophy department, which is really exciting. The odds were not in their favor, so a whole year of advocacy seems to have resulted in them finding a home. And of course, there are budget cuts and stuff coming, so maybe that changes, but hopefully not. But as of now, I just want to prepare you guys that you guys might be hearing that request from the forensics department over the summer. And I just wanted to encourage you guys to approve the request just because it was an MOU that we signed with them, the exec branch last year. I really wasn't a part of a lot of that work. The DFC chair and Priscilla were a part of a lot of that work. But they worked really hard to find that home. And everyone at every turn, the provost, the president, ASUO pro staff, student life told them that it was impossible. They would need to become student board, and they really stuck by it, and they really worked in. Like forensics has been around since almost the beginning of ASUO. So I just wanted to put that on your guys' radar as this is our last in-person meeting. So thank you guys. Senator Baker.
Yes, this is a question for Quaidwin. You said that you would bring all of your executive designees into meetings. When we do summer senate, will they be joining us in the Zoom meetings?
That's a good question. For like nominees for election board and the next DFC designee and the court justices, I'll definitely bring it to you guys to get confirmed because they have to. But for secretaries and directors that don't need Senate confirmation, I'll probably wait till fall term to like introduce you guys in person. And a lot of the secretaries don't get to start till September anyway, so it'll be pretty late in the summer. And I'm not sure what you guys' summer schedule will look like, but I'll wait to introduce them in person. Just I think it's more of a personal connection.
Thank you. That answers my question.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is an easy question for President. Apologies. I just wanted to say that earlier I sent a form out to y'all that is the form from Molly about our orientation and training. I should have said this in my update. There were not that many responses to that. It's really important for our institutional memory and transitions. So I'd like you guys to fill it out.
Senator Hugh.
Yes, I have a question for Senator Gill. I mean, oh my God, not Senator. Oh, sorry, I don't know. Oh my God, I'm so funny. I'm sorry. President Gill. So I have a question about the Concord justices and also the size of your cabinet. How many of the Concord justices do you plan on being undergraduate students? And do you plan on reducing the size of your cabinet compared to the previous executive branch?
For the first question about Concord, there are 2 vacancies currently on Concord. In the past, a lot of Concord justices have been undergrads, including the Chief Justice last year. I do think that has led to, I don't want to, this is a general statement to like a lack of maybe like passion on this Concord. And I do plan on nominating law students. That is my preference for Concord. I think they bring a certain amount of passion for the role that's important. And Concord is supposed to be like a very non-partial branch of ASUO that is just very separate from us, that just decides on resolutions and make sure that we're here to our Constitution. And so I do plan to go to law students. This year we had multiple rule changes and like constitutional amendments amendments that we put to the court, and they took the time to fully go through and make sure they don't conflict with other clauses and read the entire Constitution every single time you put a request in, which has not been the norm for Concord in the past. And I just want to continue seeing that progress that's been made in Concord. Then for the size of my cabinet, it's not really fully sketched out now, but it will be smaller than last year's cabinet. The funds that I have available are a little smaller than have been made available in the past, just due to the fact that I don't believe surplus will be quite as accessible this year. So I don't plan to come to surplus and ask for extra money to pay for my cabinet. But I don't have an exact number right now. I'll come up with you guys when I do.
I yield. Any other questions for me? All right, we will move on to the approval of the minutes for May 20th, 2026. Senator Puffinberry.
To approve the minutes from May 20, 2026, and May 27, 2026.
Second, Baker. Motion made by Puffinberry, seconded by Baker. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion passes. We will move to adjournment. Senator Puffinberry.
Second Bazana's paying.
Made by Puffinberry, seconded by Bazan. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. We're adjourned.
You got it this time. Thanks for a drive. Court.